Oh, Pansy, you got one of those thingies.
So you want me to read the card out and then... Is cerebral palsy contagious? I hope not.
I think I might have just picked it up from the person you were filming in the seat before me. I didn't actually have it before I got here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna dribble on you and get you all up. Oh, sorry.
It's not like cooties. Brain damage is not contagious. That's sort of the short answer.
And it's more a case of wrong place, wrong time.
I'm 5 years old. I'm in Wellington Hospital. I've had a muscle slide on both my Achilles. I'm actually high on painkillers and nobody has any idea how I got on this horse. But that's sort of what I'm like. Once I set my mind to something, I do what I want to do.
This definitely looked like the 70s to me. You tell by the Hillman Hunter in the background and the fact that I was wearing mustard. This little champ here, this is a kid with a severe disability that doesn't even register that it's a problem.
I grew up in a pā next door to a marae out at Hongoeka Bay. I always had big cousins or aunties or uncles wherever I went that would either enable me to participate or make sure I didn't die when I'd do something like jump off a jetty or a rock and I can't float or swim, so a big cousin would know, oh shit, Renata's jumped in the water, we better jump in and make sure she's not dead or we'll be in trouble.
I have 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers, otherwise known as a Hogan pack. The thing with having a disability from birth is that you don't know any different. I was just a sibling who needed to use crutches and sticks and various adapted equipment. Classic 90s look, right? I'm just another flower girl with the flower posies being on my stick.
My mum, she was staunch, and she was actually the one that taught me how to walk, and I didn't walk until I was 4. She'd stand old wooden pegs up, and I'd have to step over the top, and I'd wobble up the kitchen, turn around and come back.
Well, my brother was always carrying me around because he couldn't be bothered waiting for me, so he would often give me a fireman's lift, which is basically throw me over his shoulder and carry me everywhere. It's quite uncomfortable, to be honest, but that's how we did things in a big hurry.
I knew I was different. I just thought I was a bit clumsy.
I said to Mum, am I gonna get better? I really believed it for a long time that it's a phase.
I didn't really realise how much of an impact that would have on the rest of my life.
Mum had to tell me the hard truth. No, this is it for life.
So this is me with my identical twin brother Ed, and the lamb's name I think is Whitey, which is quite an original name for a white lamb, isn't it? I grew up on a sheep and beef farm south of Parenthood. I was given the same tasks and duties as him. I feel like it hit me the most when my brother first went to play tackle rugby, and my dad sat beside me and said that maybe rugby wasn't the sort of sport for me. Watching my brother go off, I was a little bit upset. I mean, we were sort of best mates growing up, so I wanted to do everything he was doing. My brother Ed is a pretty special human to me. Yeah, shit, I'm getting a bit emotional because I love him, and yeah.
Are you hurting right now?
Yes, the answer to that question is yes.
Because I'm so used to it, sometimes I don't even really realise that it's happening.
Because it's very, very hard on the body to move incorrectly 24/7 all the time.
There's always like constant tension, or your muscles are on a certain tone, and you kind of just learn to like live with a little bit of that.
It's really, really difficult sometimes to disclose that you are hurting without people saying, oh, my great aunt XYZ took sunflower oil and she was skipping through into her hundreds. It's like, that's great for you, but My reality is different.
The only pain I have at the moment is when I go to jiu-jitsu once every 2 weeks and get wasted by my coach.
This is me, Mum and Dad. I call Mum Judge Joan because I wouldn't mess with it and make Judge Judy look like a pussycat. But that was when I got the title of MNZM for my achievements for people with disabilities and society. Sport is a very big thing in our family. Rugby league is top of the list. I probably do 10% of the training that someone would do just because of my muscle tightness. And that's why I think I'm qualified to talk about mental resilience, because 90% of what I do, even in a physical sense, is coming from up here. I've been a New Zealand disabled tennis champion in the standing division. I did run the New York Marathon 4 times. I nearly died up Mount Kilimanjaro. Only thing I done different was I took an extra guide, and 2 hours out from the top they said, mate, you're gone, you carry on from here, you're gonna die. I said, I'd rather die than not finish. Are you allowed to leave me up here? And they said no. And what happened was I'd seized up, so I crawled to the top. And I'll tell you what, close shave though.
Does CP dampen the romance? Can you have sex?
Well, very interesting question.
People probably don't need to know that information. But the answer is yes.
A few doubts about that when I was younger, but I can have sex. I'm just a little bit more inflexible.
Yeah, yep.
I was in sex ed class at school and somebody said to me, you can do sex? I'm like, yes, I can. Watch his mind explode.
It took me about to 19 years old to have a girlfriend. The first one, she did tell me, the whole thing with your legs, I can only just deal with it. I mean, I was so mad about that. I was like, yeah, these days I drop them like a hot rock.
Yeah, if I was sitting down first, I used to go quite well with the girls. Normally used to go really well until I got up and went and got them a drink. Most of the time you come back and they weren't there, but
I was engaged to a guy that wasn't very nice. I thought that was all I could get, and so that was a real wake-up call that actually I don't want to lower my standards.
really important that you keep a value on yourself.
Okay, this is my wife on our wedding day in Rarotonga. We got married on the beach, and I had to stand there for so long that we actually had to dig into the sand so I could not fall over, and I remember that, but yeah. Very happy day. As a radio DJ, there's a little bit of a lure around that, so you kind of, seem to be a little bit cool. It's easier to meet people. You can imagine the dating scene for disabled people on apps.
I never hide myself to look more attractive, and that does end with them blocking me usually because they want a sexy guy to hook up with, not a disabled guy.
A lot of girls my age, they had a particular perception of what a boyfriend would be, big, strong, handsome, with blonde hair instead of a receding hairline.
And while that does upset me, it also means I will have a really nice girlfriend someday that will accept my disability and probably will love how I can't tell her to shut up until she's finished talking to me about girl drama.
My brother's partner realised when I was at a social event with them that I connected quite easily with people a little bit older than myself. So I changed my dating age range. That's how I managed to connect with my girlfriend Kate. She's 9 years older than me, so there is a bit of an age difference there, but we're best friends now, so it's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional again.
This photo is me and Shelley about 1.5 years ago at Cup Day. Yeah, I know she looks quite a bit better than me. We've been married for 29 years now, and I consider myself privileged, but I also consider myself an equal. I would have had 100 people come up to me saying how lucky I am to have Shelley. I think she's had 3 come up to her, and that's no one's fault. There's a lot of people that expect you to either not have a partner when you're disabled, or they expect you to have a partner that no one else wants. I certainly haven't got that.
I don't see many non-disabled guys with disabled women. Whether or not it's just bad luck, or that guys are a lot more shallow and need the beautiful woman on their arm to make it work. I don't know.
What are some of the craziest things people have asked you?
Am I a robot?
What's wrong with your shoes? That was a good one.
Do I get sick of walking like that?
Are you just doing that for attention? No.
Are you an alien? Do I have a mother?
Do you wish you were dead?
My mother-in-law said, I can fix your legs if you like. Would you like me to? So apparently I was just supposed to get on her exercycle and it was going to be fixed. That didn't work, by the way.
Do you sleep in your wheelchair? I nearly kicked that person. Of course I didn't, because I'm a nice lady.
Can I pray away your disability? I know that comes from a good place, but I thought that was a little odd, yeah.
I occasionally have people wanting to give me money for my non-existent Make-A-Wish fund. I mean, I was very tempted to take them up on the money with the price of hot chocolate.
People are weird. People are so weird.
Can people with CP have kids? Obviously, because I have one.
Got 2 sons, and as far as I'm aware, they're both mine. They look quite a bit like me, so that's a good start.
But I think medically, cerebral palsy might affect people in all different ways.
Being a mum is the best achievement that I've had my whole life, and it brings me the biggest amount of joy every single day.
I must admit, when my son was born, I was petrified that he could have cerebral palsy. Literally, when he came out, I looked at his legs immediately with quite a lot of panic. I was massively relieved.
I would love a kid someday. A Brent Jr. would probably be even more cheeky than me though and be able to talk, so that would be really hard to deal with, but I'm up to the challenge.
I was the slowest mum in the Plunkett group, but I had the fastest baby, and that was because my ability to cradle and hold my daughter with 2 hands is impaired, and as a result of that, her core muscles started to compensate for the weakness in my left arm. She could roll independently by 2 months. She was running by 8.5 months. I've contributed to educate Plunkett, and it's now practice for them to have that kōrero with disabled mums. If your baby's fast and you're slow, that's just a general health and safety risk.
It's sometimes quite hard seeing somebody else do an activity with your kids or your wife, and you'd like to be doing that yourself. Like sitting on the back of a jet ski and things like that. It's something you never quite get used to.
My child just sees Dad. He knows Dad has a few issues. He knows I need a bit of a hand now and again. If I get him to help me with my shoes, I don't get him to do it in front of his mates. When he goes around to their houses, they don't help their dad put his shoes on.
Have my kids been bullied? Yeah. But my kids have got the surname of Endicott, and we don't get bullied for long.
My eldest is acutely aware. When she was under 2 years old, she would see somebody looking at my walk or my gait, and she'd point at them and she'd go, "Bad eyes, mama, bad eyes." And that would make me turn, and I'd turn just in time to see somebody doing a 180.
I'm picking they're going to end up better young people because of what we've been through as a family. It affects everyone.
Who is your favourite fictional character with CP?
I've never actually seen a fictional character with cerebral palsy, so I'm not sure.
There's not a CP Disney princess.
But if there was one, it would be nice to see a Māori girl with cerebral palsy. Yeah, just putting it out there.
Wait. I don't know if he's my favourite, but he's the only one I know. Isn't there a guy on that TV series?
The son in Breaking Bad, who is played by, I can't remember his name right now, but he does have CP.
The Usual Suspects, Kaiser Sose, Kevin Spacey in that character, I got called Kaiser for months.
I think most people with cerebral palsy would have trouble to think of someone, and it's probably a bit of a shame, really, considering the number of people in the world with cerebral palsy. Not that I see myself as a movie star or anything, but
In media in general, disabilities are either the absolute worst or the absolute best.
The missing gap is just everyday people who happen to have CP. Everything from villains to the romantic Lothario to...
My CP doesn't always define what I do. So the representation of people with cerebral palsy that are just doing sort of normal things would be important.
I don't think I did understand myself fully till I was able to see people like myself at bocce tournaments. And I'm like, I want to be like that. I'm going to be like that. This is me in 1997. Got a pretty bad haircut, but I wanted to be like the chick off the Cranberries. Bocce is a sport in between intervals and pétanque, played predominantly by people with cerebral palsy. I took to bocce like duck to water, and suddenly I was good at something, and that felt good. I was named captain for the Sydney 2000 Paralympics. I was the only female, and I was the youngest by about 20 years, so this young chick bossed all these old dudes around. I think they quite liked it.
I think the dream representation would be seeing someone with a disability or with cerebral palsy where decisions are made, especially when it comes to government. You know, there might be like a disability spokesperson, but they don't actually have a disability, so it's like, can you really speak on this?
right. How do people help each other within the cerebral palsy community?
We need to sort of unpack that a wee bit, because there's no one homogenous CP community. We don't all hang out and sing Kumbaya and have secret handshakes.
Earlier in life, I didn't engage with anybody who had CP, so I didn't have the knowledge that other people have sort of been there and done these things.
In fact, if I ever saw people in wheelchairs out at the supermarket, I would ignore them completely, only because that's what I would prefer. Then I changed my outlook on everything. So this photo here is me at the recording of an episode of the Cerebral Palsy podcast, which I'm the host of. One of my workmates said to me, "Did you know that my daughter had CP?" And I said, "I had no idea." So he showed me a photo and I said, "She looks happy. You guys are doing a great job with her." That conversation, that was the turning point into my attitude about disability. I'd spent 53 years just being a bit stubborn about the whole thing and getting annoyed with people that made a fuss over me because I had disabilities. I said, you know what, if we do this podcast, it actually might help someone like him, and it's been really good for me, to be honest. Stop being such a dick about it.
What learning from your peers with CP can do is provide a certain scaffolding around, yeah, the scary thing is possible, other people have done it, here's their pathway.
Sometimes just venting and offloading about an incident can really lift your spirits and just help.
When people are on the dating scene, you don't really want to talk to your parents about, STDs, practicalities of hiring a stripper, all that kind of stuff.
And also, I guess I feel better prepared having connected with other people with CP that are older than myself. I have a realistic view of what's coming.
What are the perks of having CP?
Not many. Not many at all.
There are perks of having a disability, I can tell you. Let's start with travel. Often I get waved through the gates. I have learnt to just roll with it.
I've had people that say to me, oh, geez, you're lucky you get a disabled car park. It's not bloody lucky. Mate, I wish I didn't even qualify for a car park. And when you do get one, you've got to kick the jerk out that shouldn't be in there in the first place.
I'd say the perks of cerebral palsy are like just being able to see the world from a different point of view.
My witty humour, my zany personality, my ability to cut through the bush. Yeah.
Last one, is it a big question or, wow. If you had a magic wand, what would you do with it? Wow. Well, I definitely wouldn't be Voldemort and try and attack anyone.
If I was in a beauty contest, I'd be saying I hope for world peace.
If I had a magic wand, I wouldn't necessarily take my cerebral palsy away because it's who I am, but I would probably make people more aware of what cerebral palsy is and how it can impact people.
I would get my voice sorted because I do believe my voice is a real barrier to getting the same respect as anybody else.
If somebody said to me, we'll get rid of your disability, but we'll put you in another family, I'd say no, I'll stay where I am, thanks. If I looked at my brothers, you know, I won't hide this, I'd love to get rid of my disability, but on the same token, out of the four of us, I'm probably glad that it was me because I've clearly handled it all right. I'd prefer it was me than one of them. Yeah, for sure.
I would like if people could see it as something that is valuable to society rather than seeing it as a charity case.
I'd want them to understand a relatively simple construct of both and. You can live with a disability long term and you can have a life. You can have an adapted society for people with disability that's also adapted for everyone else. Like, it's not a matter of sacrificing things for disability, it's a matter of enhancing things with disability.
I guess that's all I need to say, really, eh?
The end.